Greetings once again, fellow girls, guys, and gaming fans. This is Small Archangel. Thank you for joining me for this week's episode of Rising World. And off camera, as usual, I have done a little bit of work, and I have finished off the smithy completely. So I've also been doing a little bit of work on the roads. You can see I've just started gravelling down here, which takes ages, but anyway, we've got a grinder now, so I added a grinder to the outside of our smithy. So as you can see, we've got going this way. No, it goes the other way. There we go. I have been grinding some stone to make some gravel for the purpose of placing our roadway, only the main road. That is to say, the one going around the market square and across in all directions is going to have gravel, and I'm not even sure quite how far I'll get with that before I get horrendously bored. We shall see. But first of all, we'll give you a little bit of a tour of the smithy, and then we're going to start with our next project. So we've got Village Smithy on the sign there. As you can see, I've actually done the windows as well. So what I've done is I've actually used a window frame. I actually used just the normal A window frame, and then I got several planks, or several beams rather, and you can just see them clipping through each other a little bit when I go really close like that, and slatted them like that. And I think I might do the same at the farmhouse because it looks pretty good actually. So that I did off camera. What else did I do? Well, I've done the interior as well. You can see all the windows look like that, including the little ones at the back. And I think they look pretty nice, actually. I think they look quite nice, though. I think that is the way to go. Whether they should have panes of glass in or not, I don't know. We can't make any glass at the moment because I haven't got any sound anyway, so moot point. And then inside, there we go. We've got our the door is the door is square, but the arch is rounded, so that's a little bit peculiar. But there you go. Inside, we've got some storage, of course. We've got our second furnace, and yes, we can gain access to them. We can fuel them up. I have, more or less fueled that one up. So there we go. We've got two furnaces, one inside, one out, and they do actually match up now. They both look the same as each other, which I don't think I got them quite right before. We've then got a big sort of bench here, workbench, lots of storage, and then these beams that have been set into the wall, I've got a shelf there, and then here on the wall I've actually put a couple of planks, because what I want to do really is affix some images of tools and things hanging down from that. That's what we really are lacking in here at the moment. Then of course an anvil. We've got an anvil outside and we've got an anvil inside, and I've just put all our spare blocks in that container there for the moment. And then this chest contains bits of sort of furniture and things that are sort of spare. And then here we've got this big crate here. We've got all of our we've got some gravel in there. We've got a load of stone and things as well. And I have got some wood somewhere. I just don't remember where I kept it. Oh, there it is, look. Wood and lumber and some wool as well. And then upstairs, of course, we've got our workbenches, but I've also placed a bed because that means, look at that, just about get underneath these lights. Low beams, what can you say? It's authentic. And we've got a bed there as well, so we can sleep the nights in relative comfort and close to our construction site. So I'm going to leave that open for the moment because we need to come and go. So there you go. That is our finished smithy. Apart from, as I say, a few images, and we're looking to be able to start creating images with our next build, which is going to be here on the opposite side. So you can see I've cleared a patch, and that's going to be just on the opposite side of our main road, which is going off in this direction. So I'm digging out the roads a little bit as I go as well. Quite tedious stuff, but that's why I do it off camera. So we've got a fairly level piece of ground here. Again, not a large building here, and this one is going to be a carpenter's workshop. So that's going to be a sort of a useful thing for us to have close to hand at the centre of our town as well. So that's what we're going to do. So our smithy now contains the benches that we require, unless we've got some blocks in here that are going to be useful to us, and these ones here might be. Oh, crowbar, yes. So a couple of my subs up, a couple of people in the comments said, we've got a crowbar now. The crowbar can help us to take apart, a bit like the sledgehammer with blocks. The crowbar is to planks and beams what the sledgehammer is to blocks, and basically allows us to get them back. This is extremely useful information. So thank you guys for that. And also extremely useful in-game mechanic, which means that, yeah, we can reclaim wrongly placed or misaligned, or what, you know, when we want to kind of move stuff, we've changed our mind, which, given the amount of beams we're using, is a very good thing indeed. So there we go. I have a crowbar. Let's just see what we need in here. We're probably more likely to need our sledgehammer to hand. And then I think, yeah, we'll take these blocks because we might need them. Those blocks are likely as well. We've got some more of those. But then what I think I'll probably do is I'll probably use this stone here, and I don't think we've any of that left. This is a different type of stone. So we'll use the same kind of stone as we've made the bottom half of our smithy in order to make our carpenter's workshop. Or should we? Maybe our carpenter's workshop doesn't need to be quite as big building, actually. And maybe what we should do is we'll still have the timbering, but maybe we should make the thing out of wood. That would be kind of appropriate, I think. We'll make it a single story building and we'll make it just out of wood. It doesn't need to house things like, you know, it doesn't need to house people. It's not a house, but it doesn't need to house furnaces like our smithy does. The blacksmith can't be made out of wood because it would just set fire to immediately. Therefore, we should just make a wood building. This means I'm probably going to need to get some more wood because I'll just get rid of... Do you know what? I'll keep those. I will keep those on me because actually we're probably going to need them as flooring. So we'll keep those, and we'll probably need that for a bit of outside area if we're going to make one. We're going to need thatch for the roof, obviously, but we'll come back for that. And then... yeah, wood. We're going to need some wood. So let's see how much timber we've actually got. Not that much, I don't think. We're going to need the logs rather than lumber. And then our block benches up here. So let's see. What kind of wood should we make this out of? Let's have a look at our favourites. There's some planks, which look suitably kind of rough. And those also... but we're going to need to use some for flooring. I think that looks more like wood flooring to me, and that looks more like it should be used for the walls. Okay, so these ones here, we know we've got a few of those already, so we can get some more. So let's just make as many of those as we can for the time being. And we'll grab whatever there is of them in there as well. We've got also, I think they're a different type of wood, aren't they? So... and then, yeah, we'll make... It's probably going to be the similar kind of size footprint-wise. And orientation, looks like I've got that roughly right. So let's just try, what, about a dozen blocks, or maybe more. 14. Let's go for 14 for the moment, and then we'll see what this... looks like. That's going to be a bit awkward, really, isn't it? Orientation is always the most difficult thing with these because you can't turn them on the diagonal. It'd be wonderful if we could, but we cannot. Okay, there we go. So we've got our footprint there. Now, I've actually got a little bit of dirt in this corner, which I then need to sort of level out a little bit. There we go, because we can't actually see that corner there. Okay, oops, and yeah, I've actually taken out a little bit more than we should have done. I haven't actually picked up any dirt, which is great. That means I can't actually fill that back in again, which is a bit of a pain. Let's see if we can level it with the rake. There we go, perfect. There we go. The rake is actually quite a powerful tool when you get used to using it, but it does take some time. So we've got an L shape because that seemed to be the best way of dealing with the vagaries of the space available to us here. Now, I might change it a little, which is to say that I'm not convinced that we've got... I don't know. I think, in actual point of fact, that we might be better off with this being ever so slightly sort of smaller in this direction, like that. So that is what I might work on that basis, and just take this level, this layer from here, out for the time being. Okay, so now we've got that. Let's see what we're going to do. So we might have, I'm not absolutely sure yet whether we'll have all of this being solid, as it were. What I might do is I might make this part here the main sort of body of our carpenter's workshop, and then possibly, whoops, that isn't quite what I meant, possibly we'll have this bit here as a sort of an outside area with a shelter, a little bit like we have over there. And I might do that, in which case this is going to be stone rather than wood. And then we've got a little bit of a yard sort of area here as well, but we're going to need some outside storage for lumber, so that might actually be the best way to go. Let's just work on those lines for the moment, because I don't want the carpenter's workshop to be too big a building, really. So I've got my scaffold somewhere around as well, if we're likely to need that. And is that going to be tall enough? Probably not quite. Let's go with one more block than that. Okay, so there we have the basic framework. Now, I'll have a few more blocks if I take these ones out and replace them with stone. We have some stone here that we can use. Let's see, we could use... I think this stone is probably going to be better for the inside, and this stone is the stuff that I generally use for... for outside areas. So I think we're going to need some more of that, but I need to take these blocks out and sort of replace them with this stone here, I think. So I shall do that before we do anything else. Okay, there we go. That's that. And I've gathered myself a little bit more wood here as well. We've got reclaimed a few more of these blocks back, but not tons, to be fair. And I'm just kind of, I don't know, I'm wondering whether this should be wood or whether it should be sort of wattle and daub, but I don't know. I kind of feel like it should be wood, but maybe it should be made mostly out of planked wood. This looks, yeah, it kind of looks like planks, doesn't it? It's difficult to judge at the moment what it's actually going to look like. So I will at this point just, oops, go ahead and fill in the walls a little bit. We just need to work out where our doors and what have you are going to be. Now this bit here is actually going to be sort of lumber storage, what have you, so I think the door needs to be here. So let's just work out, it probably, if you've got our pathway here, the door probably wants to be there, doesn't it? So we'll do that, and we can perhaps place a window next to the door. So there we go, and that's the right height for a door as well, isn't it? And then maybe we can have a window there. It's always a good idea to have windows for light. Actually, do you know what? I think we might possibly want to make the windows in the carpenter's workshop a little bit bigger. Let's experiment with having sort of taller windows like that. See what that looks like. Just for the light. And then maybe it's perhaps going to look a little bit, medieval windows are never particularly large, so I might just have to rethink that one. And I think probably we only want the one window on this side as well, and maybe we'll have one window on the end here, there. Okay, so this is the progress so far. I'm not absolutely sure that this is the way that it should be. The windows seem quite large to me. That said, so I might make them a little bit smaller than that, because it looks a little bit on the modern side, really. But I have actually seen some buildings with, you know, sort of relatively large windows. This period, I'm not convinced though, so I might just have to make them the same sort of height as the rest, and I might have to take some of them out. I mean, glass was extremely expensive if it was around at all. But the other thing, of course, is that if paints were glazed, it was really expensive, so it wasn't likely to happen in a carpenter's workshop. If they weren't glazed, it was very cold, and wind used to sort of rush in and things, so practically we don't actually want too much in the way of windows. But at the same time, you need the light to be able to work, so that's why I've put quite a few in. With no windows in this end at all, because that's kind of going to be where the most of our sort of woodworking and what have you tools are going to be. Obviously, we're going to have a saw bench in here. We're also going to have a paper press. I want to have a paper press in here because I want to be able to start making posters and start placing images all around the town to sort of add that little bit of clutter to the game. Otherwise, it doesn't really give us the ability to add. Okay, so we're going to add some timbering to this as well, and timbering on timber is not going to have quite the same kind of pleasant effect as it does on our other buildings, but nonetheless we need some sort of timber structuring, which is going to make it look a little bit less like just one great big homogeneous wood block, I hope. But alright, so we need a roof on the thing as well, but before we do that, we probably need to place some structure here also. So we're going to need to go back and get some. Now I've got some wood beams and such in here. Here we go, we've got some of them in here. Oh, I've only got one of those left. How did I manage that? There we go, so we've got a few of those. Now that's a wooden sign. And there's a plank, and there's a window frame and all sorts. So I'm going to go, I'm going to get some more of these because we're going to need loads. Construction, here we go, construction, wood beam. And again, we're going to use the very dark ones there. Oh, lumber, that's it. I need some lumber. We have got some somewhere in here. Here we go. Okay. Alright, so we've got our grid turned on, and we're going to do roughly the same kind of thing as we did over there for this. We're going to make this a little bit thicker, or even a lot thicker, and we'll make it as tall as it will go. I can't honestly tell if that's actually getting any taller. This is the trouble. You can't really see. Now, is that, what height is that? That's actually taller than the roof, taller than, yeah. We probably want it to be the same kind of height as the walls in actual fact. Probably that. Is that actually in contact with the floor? I think it is. Okay, there we go. So we'll place that there. Another one on this side. There we go. And then, yeah, we will just we'll put a couple on this side as well. There we are. And maybe they need to go against the wall, possibly. Let's just switch. Our crowbar into here so that we can move things if we need to. And then, yeah, we're going to work on the same basis as our shelter here. Which basically, yeah, that is how I built it there, isn't it? So we'll do the same kind of thing here. Which means that we're going to need a horizontal between these two. And turn it around this way. And then, of course, it's going to need to be somewhat longer than it already is. So, oh, that's as low as it goes. And also, annoyingly, it won't go at the top. It won't attach, and it won't go at the top either, which isn't great. There, if we take G off, take the grid off, we can actually place that where we need it to go. And then if I put G back on, it's probably going to mess me up, so I can't actually fit anything in there. So I'm going to have to do this with G turned off as well. And I can't see because of the sun is in my eyes, dazzling me. Very pretty, the God rays, but they do get in the way sometimes. There we go. That's kind of more or less it, isn't it? It's a little bit jerry-rigged, but there you go. That's probably authentic enough too. And then We'll just see if we can turn this around, and hopefully we're not going to have the same issue here, but we may well have, with the beams not really wanting to marry up. That's as wide as it's going to go. Let's try making it a smidgen narrower. Not that it's going to make much difference at this point. I think we're going to have to turn G off again. Okay, there we are. That's our sort of outside shelter. We're obviously going to have to do more in the way. It's actually taken me quite a long time to get the angles the way I wanted them there. It's going to obviously take more of these beams in order to be able to half timber the place as well, so I'm going to have to do that too. But for now, that's it. I didn't want this shelter to have such a steep pitch to it, and thanks to a couple of subs who said, you know, at least one of you has suggested that I use planks for roofing, and then apparently there is a console command that we can use to actually change the texture of planks to make them look like something else. But actually I think wood plank roofing might actually look quite good in this instance anyway, so that's what we're going to try. So I'm going to have to get, now we don't have any planks in there. I'm pretty sure I've got at least one in here. Yeah, just one, unfortunately. No, give me the plank. Give me the plank. There we go. And I'm also going to need my scaffolding now. What's happened to that? Here it is. Here's my scaffolding. I have needed my crowbar. It has come in pretty useful, I have to say. So, no, I need that scaffolding. There we go. And we're going to need to make some more planks as well. So they're in here, wood plank, and similarly we want the dark ones there, I think. And then it's a little bit dingy in the game right now. Sorry about that, folks. That's the way these things go, isn't it? Just can't see properly. So we'll put our, that should be enough actually for the moment. We shouldn't need the rest of our scaffolding for the minute. It's not ever so tall, this structure. There we go. And then if we get these planks and hit G again, but I'm not sure, we might have to do this without G enabled, and we're going to need to tilt that, of course. And the first thing is to get the appropriate angle, which I'm not sure if I can even really see from here. Oh. Okay, and annoyingly we have to get the angle before we actually turn it round. Oh, where's it gone? Now, is that even the right angle, and is it even possible to get the right angle? It may not be possible to get the right angle, but then again we got that angle with the wood beams, so why can't we get it with the planks? That should be possible. Okay, so I think we've got the right kind of angle now. It's a bit difficult to see because it's kind of dark. And I'm going to make this plank rather wider, because that way we're not going to need as many of them. Can we make it? How wide can we actually make it? About like that. And is that the right length? I think it is actually. Yeah, I think it is, because that way we're going to have a little bit of an overhang, and I actually want a bit of an overhang. There we go. And if we've got any of these left over, that's all to the good, because we always need planks. There we go. Oh, nuts. Oh, no, that's not what I meant. Got to right click to do that. Okay. That is what I meant. That is where I wanted it. Nice. Okay, so that's our wood roof there, which means that maybe possibly the rest of the structure should have a wooden roof as well. I'm not entirely sure. Maybe it should. The whole thing in wood. But obviously we're going to need to do the same thing. We kind of have some gable ends on in wooden sort of beams. So we should probably have a slightly steeper pitch on the gable ends, but I think before we do anything else, roof related, we should probably see if we can get the timbering sorted on this thing and see if we can't make it look a little bit better. At the moment it looks a little bit, I don't know, a little bit bland really. Oh, that's a little bit too tall, isn't it? So we want it to be okay. That's irritating. It's going to have to be a little bit too tall. But there we go. And we want one of those on each corner. Okay, so the lighting game is not great. It's just kind of dawn at the moment, so we can't see ever so well. But I hope you guys can see the work I've done with the half timbering there. So we've kind of got it timbered, timber over timber, but it does make the place look rather better. And I may yet go for sort of larger windows in here. I don't know. I may yet go for the taller windows. I think maybe they might look all right. And so I'm going to leave the windows, and I'll do those kind of off camera depending on sort of what I think. I'll play around with that a little bit and see what that looks like. But for now, we need to get the roof on this joint, and then we're going to be, you know, in a position after that to be able to be able to sort of start furnishing it and what have you. So first of all, we kind of need to find the center point, which is probably going to be easier to see from here. For example, if I'm on this side, it's going to be above our window there, which is going to be there, isn't it? And we're going to use wood planks for the roof of this one as well, which means we don't need to worry about the pitch of the roof. I'll have a bit of a thicker beam than that, and then we need to make it shorter. There we go. So we can have this roof pitched at a less steep angle than the others, I think. Yeah, that should be all right. Do we want it a little bit taller than that, maybe? Yeah, I think about that is going to be correct. Thank goodness I've got my crowbar. I really needed it for this episode, so thank you guys for pointing that out to me. Yeah, that is definitely central. That is good. And then we want this to be at an appropriate angle. This is always the tricky part. Let's just get this going the other way. This is always the tricky part. We probably need that to be more like that. And then we'll see if we can get this to sort of match up. Oops. Possibly that. Ish. Maybe. Yeah, that looks kind of right. Let's see if we can get the other side. So we'll turn this around. There we are. Is that about what we want? It probably is, yes. We're going to need to fill in these end bits as well, aren't we? So I'll just, let's see, where does that belong? It's a shame to get it the wrong angle, and it's obviously not going to want to go. Okay, that's going a bit strange. I'm not quite sure what's going on there. Okay, I had to just relog because we had something bugging out somewhat there, and I'm not quite sure what happened, but we ended up getting a load of flicker going on. So we're going to have to now resize this because it isn't the right size otherwise. There we go. Because relogging made it forget. Now, I think that's set... Oh, I just put 2 there by accident. I just double-clicked. Let's have one of them back. There we go. We need all of our beams for this job. It does make, well, for quite a lot of wood, really, one way or another. Now, is that the right angle I've got there? I'm not entirely sure. Okay, there we go. So we've got both ends now. So now we're going to need to straighten this out on the vertical. Turn it around. We're probably going to need it to be a little bit thicker. And that's annoying. It's not quite going to meet up. So maybe we'll just keep it at that width. Because it's a whole lot easier to place these with grid enabled than it is to try and do it with that. Wow, what just happened? That went really well off center. Okay, so something's gone wonky. I think maybe, that's what's gone wrong there. I obviously haven't got this quite right on this end. It's not central. So I'm going to have to do that again. There we go, finally. Now we're going to need some more of these at the same angle as we had before. So we're going to need, yeah, like that. And I am starving to death, of course. This is the trouble with building. You always find you're so immersed in what you're doing, you forget to eat. So we're going to need some more supports. And I think that's the correct length. It is. And we just need to make sure that it's needs to be a little bit lower down. Needs to be kind of like that. And I'm not sure exactly if we're going to be able to do that. Okay, we've now got the entire sort of wooden frame there. We might put in a cross beam on the inside. In fact, it's probably going to be a good idea to do that. I haven't got enough of these left for the moment, so we're just going to have to try and... Oops, that is not correct at all. We need that to be quite a lot thicker, but backspace wasn't working for some reason. There we go. And we're going to need that this way around, and as long as it'll go. And we're probably going to want to put that sort of there, like so. And we're going to need more of those going across, of course, and then, yeah, perhaps some going in this direction as well, and then a couple of verticals possibly. But what we really want to do now is place some of our roof planks. Oh, hello. Get up there. This is the trouble. I can't see very well. And we're going to need these to be at the right angle. So we'll just turn that around, and this needs to be about like that, doesn't it? I think about like that, and then we'll see if we can get it to go the right length. Oh yes, that looks perfect. And I don't know how many of these we're going to need. Probably more than we have. That tends generally to be the rule, I find, is that you need just more than you actually have. I think this is a little bit wide. If I make it a little bit narrower, is it going to fit in that gap? Because that's what I need it to do. Okay, I think we've just about got it down now, but we are going to run out of planks after we've done only one side of the roof, which is a little galling, but hey ho, as long as we know that it can be done. There we are, and that bit there we go. You just need to make sure you get them in just the right position. Lovely. Okay, so that is most of our roof done, and then the question, I suppose, is what are we going to do with the gable ends there? I could, I suppose, leave them open, but I'm not entirely sure that that's the thing to do. But what do we do? Because I don't know that I might be able to fill it with blocks, I suppose, but I have got the uprights there and they do need to be visible. So I don't know. That is something I think I will have to chew over off camera. For now, I need to get something to drink because unfortunately I am dying of thirst again. And I think we will leave this episode for now, and in the next episode we will basically finish off our carpenter's workshop, and maybe we'll make ourselves a press as well, a paper press, and then we'll be able to start placing some images around the town so far as well. And so we'll get our workbenches in there. We'll get the thing finished off. I'll make some decisions off camera about the windows and see if we want those sort of this size or sort of taller. But yeah, we'll get this finished off in the next episode, and then we'll be able to we'll be able to start putting some posters around the place and adding some sort of much needed sort of clutter and detail. In the meantime, guys, I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, you know what to do. Hit that like button and let me know. Also, feel free, as ever, to leave your comments and suggestions there. And I do hope you'll join me for the next episode of Rising World, or check out what else is on the channel. Until then, keep gaming, keep surviving, and stay happy. Bye bye for now.